All right, gentlemen, you've been over the rules. Protect yourself at all times. Follow my instructions. We're gonna have a clean fight. Let's touch gloves and do this.
I do this. Goosebumps. Literal goosebumps.
Max Holloway, Charles Oliveira sharing the octagon of the BMF belt is on the line. Great crowd on hand as usual.
So imagine this moment for a second. Picture yourself thrown into that arena where time seems to freeze and your heart pounds like a drum. Can you feel what it's really like when everything you've worked for comes down to a single moment? When millions of eyes are glued to you and destiny is literally staring you down? That burning need to understand, to really know what they're feeling in there. That's exactly what has everyone absolutely losing their minds over this legendary battle.
realidade, eu perdi o movimento do lado esquerdo inteiro.
Yeah, it really wasn't exactly that. You know, I lost movement on my left side in the fight. And I think a lot of people didn't know what I explained what it was. So they talked about the esophagus and all of that. But, you know, the reality of it was an injury to my neck. There were talks that I could have been paralyzed because of that. But the reality of it is that I lost movement on my left side. You know, it was no joke. You know, I was told that in the ambulance, the guys were trying to put an IV in my arm and I wouldn't even feel it because I just couldn't feel my left side. So I was scared that my career was over at that moment.
Se ele me chamar no começo do round, no meio do round, não importa, eu vou estar lá. É como eu acabei de falar, é por isso que eu mato as pessoas do coração, eu não fujo da luta, eu procuro a luta. Eu caço o tempo inteiro. Pra mim não faz diferença nenhuma.
How does Max versus Charles go? I'll go Oliveira, chat. Who else is very impressed with his takedown entries that he's added to his game? Even when he went for it on Ilya and went for the 50-50 throw, I was like, oh my god, dude, he's strong in this double under position. He's never been like that before. He always used to shoot in and try and get the back from it and fail to take down. Like, he was never picking up Gaethje and dunking him or getting his hands behind the arse of Poirier and getting his hands connected and dunking him down. It was very throw and trip oriented, but he's now like getting in on the hips, hands connected, picking up Gamrot like that, even though Gamrot balanced and stayed in a good position and then eventually gave up his back anyway. His entries are a lot better, so I think he would get down Max in 7.
Look, when you're dealing with two fighters who can end your night faster than you can blink, you know exactly what's coming. There's no dancing around or taking it easy for the first few minutes. This isn't some technical chess match where they feel each other out, not a chance. What we're about to witness is straight chaos from the opening seconds. This showdown between Max Holloway and Charles Oliveira isn't just another bout on the schedule. We're talking about a collision between lightning and thunder, where blazing speed meets calculated danger and every heartbeat could be your last. Think about what we've got here. One fighter comes at you like a hurricane, drowning you in strikes until you can't think straight, can't breathe, can't find a way out. The other guy just needs one opening, one tiny mistake, and suddenly you're either unconscious or tapping out to a submission you never saw developing. There's nowhere to hide in this kind of war, no safe moments to catch your breath, and absolutely no room for mistakes. This is why everyone in the fight world can't stop talking about what's about to go down.
Foge, Elvis, foge. Boa! Cara, o Charles, ele sempre levantou a bandeira do jiu-jitsu brasileiro, né, do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Isso eu acho que é muito legal, porque tem muitos lutadores que até competiram mais que ele no jiu-jitsu esportivo, mas não levanta a bandeira tanto quanto ele. E ele é o cara que tem um jiu-jitsu nele, ele é o cara que ele não faz jiu-jitsu, ele é jiu-jitsu.
While everyone keeps debating who's going to win this massive collision between Max and Charles Oliveira, the real war is probably happening right now in the gym where nobody can see it. Max Holloway isn't just training, he's becoming obsessed with every tiny detail that matters. He's breaking down the science of timing, angles, and space like his life depends on it. Those microscopic adjustments that turn good fighters into legends when everything's on the line. Here's the thing though, while Charles Oliveira feeds off chaos and jumps on every mistake with deadly accuracy, Max is perfecting the art of timing and relentless control. He's studying exactly when to strike, when to pressure, and when to trap someone in a position where escape becomes impossible. When it turns into this mental chess game of precision versus pure wildness, Holloway's obsession with details could be what saves him. It might be exactly what he needs to not just survive Oliveira's famous storm, but to overwhelm him with speed and precision that never stops coming.
Bro, go away. You're fucking ugly. Shut up. That was so ugly you even agree with this.
No, I'm trying to.
Bro, you literally went around the corner and were talking. Shut up, no. You literally went around the corner and you were talking. I seen you guys.
No, we were. No,
Bro, I seen your ass go over there.
No, because
and then I seen him go, hey, he just says a rap.
No.
Shut up, no. Because you would have told me a long time ago. Only now you say something right now. Bro, these guys is just too much. Hey, don't ever listen to what Max has to say. Especially this guy. Any Chinese out there, you guys know what this means. It means strong.
No, I don't think it does.
Bro, I don't think you're real Chinese, bro. Get out of here.
I don't think it means.
Bro, you're not even Chinese. Get out of here. Just because you look Indian doesn't mean you're look it up right now.
Sure, there's respect between these two legends, real admiration for what each brings to the table, but don't confuse that with weakness. The hunger to win burns just as fierce, maybe even fiercer. Max Holloway looks at Oliveira and sees the complete package, someone who can hurt you standing up, drag you into deep water on the ground, and finish you the second you slip up. This isn't about some lucky shot or one-trick submission. We're talking about true mastery, raw skill, and understanding every piece of the fighting puzzle. But here's what matters most about Max's approach. All that respect won't change his game plan one bit. Max Holloway plans to stay sharp, bring suffocating pressure from round one, and force Oliveira into the kind of fight where his speed, timing, and composure become the only things that matter. Through that process, he's ready to show everyone once again why he belongs in the fire and thrives when everything's on the line.
Oliveira, he's just a killer, you know. I think so, you know, before everybody knows jiu-jitsu right now, but his striking came a long way. And if you see most of his finishes, a lot of the time, it's not Hail Mary submissions that he's finishing people. He's hurting them on the feet, blocking them, and then getting a submission. So at the end of the day, he's a real mixed martial artist. You know, I saw an interview that he said, you know, the first time we fought, he was jiu-jitsu Oliveira, now he's an MMA Oliveira. I respect that, I agree with that. Come March 7th, though, we get to see, you know, we find out everything, you know. Oliveira is Oliveira, man. He's dangerous everywhere. Like I said, striking, dangerous. His jiu-jitsu game, no question about it. I just need to be smart. I need to fight my game plan. I need to go in there, you know, do what I got to do to get my hand raised, and that's what I plan on doing. I plan on going in there, getting in his face. You know, we're on Paramount now. A lot of people are tuning into these number cards. A lot of viewership is around, so.
I plan on making new fans come marching? What a statement from Max. Now if Max Holloway, someone known for elite striking, calls Charles Oliveira a complete mixed martial artist, imagine what someone like Demian Maia sees in those skills. When Demian Maia, a Brazilian jiu-jitsu legend, speaks about Charles Oliveira, this isn't just giving props or showing love. This is one master recognizing another master at work. In Maia's eyes, Oliveira doesn't just train Brazilian jiu-jitsu, he lives it. He becomes it every time he steps into that cage to compete. Just think about those transitions for a second. The way he moves from striking to grappling like water flowing downhill. Those predator instincts that kick in instantly. How he shifts from dealing damage standing up to locking in submissions without missing a beat. It looks less like technique and more like pure instinct. Something that's just part of who he is. When Demian Maia calls him a master of the art, that tells you everything about what makes Oliveira so dangerous. His grappling isn't just another weapon in the toolbox. It's not something he pulls out when he needs it. His grappling is his identity, built into his fighting soul, a natural force.
Foge, Elvis, foge. Boa! Cara, o Charles, ele sempre levantou a bandeira do jiu-jitsu brasileiro, né, do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Isso eu acho que é muito legal, porque tem muitos lutadores que até competiram mais que ele no jiu-jitsu esportivo, mas não levantam a bandeira tanto quanto ele. E ele é o cara que tem o jiu-jitsu nele, ele é o cara que ele não faz jiu-jitsu, ele é jiu-jitsu.
Now flip the script and you've got Jorge Masvidal, the original game-bred legend, and he's got nothing but love for Max Holloway. Masvidal sees Max as one of MMA's finest, a special talent who brings that crushing pressure and non-stop intensity every single time he shows up to work. But here's where Masvidal gets a good laugh. He completely dismisses anyone who tries to call the BMF belt some kind of joke or marketing stunt. For Jorge, fighting for that BMF title means you're at the top of the mountain, competing with the absolute best, proving your heart and your skills. He knows without question that whether it was him or Nate Diaz facing Max for that belt, nobody was going to have an easy night regardless. For Masvidal, this whole event, this huge matchup is about the clash itself, a real test of striking skills, and a chance for these fighters to control the pace while honoring what the BMF title represents. For Jorge, this isn't just another fight card. This is exactly the kind of high-energy, non-stop action that real fight fans dream about and need to see.
Listen, Max Holloway said this on his YouTube channel. The BMF belt to me personally represents just a bad mother effer. You know, blessed man forever. Only very few get the fight for this belt. The belt was a laughingstock before. All of a sudden I got it and everyone wants to fight for it now. It's hilarious. It's fun to me. What do you make of that? Him saying that it was a laughingstock before, because not many people held that belt. You were the one that put it on the map.
I mean, I love Max as a fighter. That's his opinion. That's his opinion. You know, I think he's one of the best fighters to do it. He's a dog when he goes in there. But whether it had been me or Nate fighting Max, it wasn't gonna be like his best night either, I think, you know. So I don't think how in laughingstock in what way, because the skill level is obviously there, you know. I mean, I would love to fight Max just on the stylistic.
While Masvidal focuses on the immediate excitement of this massive matchup, Chael Sonnen goes deeper, explaining why this fight carries so much weight beyond just the surface buzz. Sonnen points out that Oliveira didn't just randomly challenge Holloway. He specifically stated he was coming for the BMF belt, and that detail matters everything in the complex world of MMA. As Sonnen breaks it down, having two superstars in a big fight doesn't automatically mean there's a title involved. Look at fights like Covington versus Masvidal, where you had a huge Vegas headliner that didn't put any championship around anyone's waist. For a smart, calculating fighter like Oliveira, targeting the BMF title isn't just clever, it's necessary to make this encounter truly meaningful and historic. And now that Max Holloway has confirmed the belt is actually at stake, there's no doubt remaining. This fight becomes an all-out war for ultimate respect, a final answer to who really is the baddest fighter in the game.
Oliveira versus Max, guys, I think we're at that point, right? Like, I think we can come out and announce this now. I'm assuming that you know, Charles Oliveira, when he gets done on Saturday, he calls out Max and he asks him to put up the belt. By the way, which is an important distinction to make. Colby Covington fought George Masvidal. It was personal, it was Vegas, it was main event. George was champion. We, Team Colby, assumed it was for the belt. We win the fight, we don't get the belt. I mean, I'm just sharing for you. It is important for a smart veteran like Charles to make the distinction and call for the belt. It's important when Max responds that we're all clear that it's for the belt.
Sana also points out something fascinating that adds even more depth to this whole situation. Usually in combat sports, it's champions who get called out, who face challenges from fighters trying to climb the ladder, not the reverse. But here we have Charles Oliveira, himself a former champion, actively starting this high-level confrontation with another legend, and that creates another incredible layer of intrigue to an already electric fight. Looking back at his own personal experience watching Max Holloway, seeing him grow from those early rough UFC days into a pound-for-pound king, Sonnen respects Max not just as an elite fighter, but as a genuine good person away from the spotlight. And getting to know Charles Oliveira, Sonnen recognizes that same combination of skill and character, making the underlying tension and competitive drive between these two fighters even more captivating to watch. We're looking at two incredibly respected, highly skilled athletes, both admired not just for their cage abilities, but for their class and professionalism outside of it. Yet somehow there's still this undeniable friction between them, a quiet competitive flame that only makes this matchup more exciting.
Champions get called out. They don't do the calling. Now that makes me very curious. What's up with these two guys? I've known Max for his entire career. In fact, fought on a card with Max, and it was either his debut or it was his second ever fight. So when I tell you I knew him, that's the day I met him. So when I tell you I knew him his entire UFC career, this is a literal statement. He's awesome. I think you guys know that. I mean, he's a wonderful guy, is my point. They're not all. You get disappointed plenty of times. Max is a wonderful guy. But you guys know that. I'm just getting to know Charles on a personal level. He came over here, did an interview that we brought to you. he's a wonderful guy. They're not all. So when you have two baby faces, when you have two good guys, two wonderful guys, when are you gonna call a guy wonderful, by the way? I don't know if I've ever done. You got two wonderful guys. Why do they not get along? What is their problem with each other? What really happened between these two? And that has not come out.
Now across the lightweight division, hungry contender Armen Tsarukyan definitely isn't sitting around waiting for chances to fall into his lap. That's not how he operates. He's already locked onto his next major opportunity, focusing like a laser beam. With current champ Islam Makhachev seemingly only fighting once a year, Armen clearly can't afford to waste time sitting on the sidelines hoping for the best. He's made his intentions crystal clear, stating his goal directly. He wants whoever wins this huge Oliveira versus Holloway battle, and he wants them for the BMF title. For Tsarukyan, that belt isn't just symbolic hardware or a nice trophy. It represents a perfect chance, a key opportunity to step into the bright lights, make an undeniable statement, and show the entire world that he's not only ready, but completely capable of fighting with the absolute best, and he wants it right now. You can sense the hunger coming off him, that intense determination in his approach. He's not waiting for anyone to give him opportunities. He's gonna go out there and seize them with power and focus.
You know what the weird thing is? What if Ilya comes back in the summertime, right? And now you've got an interim champion, and usually the interim champion will fight the actual champion. Maybe. You're neither of those. That means we're talking about another fight happening, and you're not fighting for the belt, and now we're talking about the back end of the year.
Yeah, but maybe BMF title.
Okay.
So we'll see.
You don't want that, right? You want the real title.
Yeah, I want the real title, but I don't want to wait until the end of the next year. And then Ilya, he fights once a year. Maybe he defend his title in June and then say, okay, I'll fight next year in June. And then what I can do, just stay. And I'm not that young to wait a lot too. So if they give me BMF title, it would be great too. If Charles Oliveira wins, so it's gonna be good. We got the story, and just get that belt, and then the real belt.
Absolute MMA expert and true student of the fight game is completely energized and excited about this Oliveira versus Holloway battle, genuinely calling it an incredible must-see matchup that guarantees fireworks. However, here's his issue. He's definitely not impressed with how this amazing fight was actually announced to the world, sharing some real frustration. He felt that the mysterious empty chair setup, which promised some big dramatic moment, unfortunately didn't deliver and missed the target. The choice to tease the announcement with different highlight packages before the official reveal, in his view, sadly ruined much of the surprise and excitement for many fans watching, reducing the impact. And don't overlook the smaller but obvious mistakes like missing name cards on the chairs, which just added to his irritation and sense of a poorly executed presentation. Despite his sharp criticism of what he saw as the UFC's somewhat messy and careless announcement, he stays absolutely clear on one basic truth that matters more than anything else. Regardless of how it was revealed, regardless of the presentation problems, this fight is definitely guaranteed to deliver some serious, undeniable excitement to the octagon.
Well, that's Oliveira versus Holloway. I nearly said that's Holloway. But that's Oliveira versus Holloway, which is a sick fight. I reckon Oliveira is going to win that one. I love the fight announcement of that. I love the way they did it. 2 empty seats on the stage, but why announce it in a promo before? I knew it was coming. I was like, oh, that's the empty seats. They're going to do Oliveira Holloway. Let me wonder. What are they going to announce? I kind of would have known. But don't show the casual fans the fucking promo piece. Highlight reels of them both. And now official Oliveira Holloway. And they're showing it on the camera on the stage. On the projector to everyone at home, to everyone in the weigh-ins. And then trying to have this mystique over who the empty chairs are for, you idiots. They even left their little name things off of the chairs, where normally it would say who they were. Is there no brain behind the scenes at the UFC? I'm going off on this again. Is there no one with a brain?
Behind the scenes, we heard from outspoken MMA analyst Chael, who gave his very direct, honest opinion on this highly anticipated matchup between Max Holloway and Charles Oliveira. He openly shares that when Max first challenged Charles and that challenge got accepted, he wasn't exactly excited, being completely honest, and found himself initially confused. Charles would have personally wanted to see Oliveira fight someone like Michael Chandler, or maybe even Beneil Dariush, matchups he truly thought would have fit Charles's abilities and strengths better, possibly offering a more favorable situation. But when it comes to the striking game, Charles doesn't hold back at all. His opinion is direct and completely clear. Max Holloway, in his view, is simply performing on a completely different level, a step above everyone else. From his incredible speed and smooth combinations to his expert ability to mix head and body shots, and even add those surprise devastating spinning techniques, Holloway, according to Charles, completely dominates in that area. It's not even close. He strongly believes that Oliveira, despite his amazing overall abilities and dangerous ground skills, is simply outclassed in pure striking. And here's the key detail: the game changer. This becomes especially true now that Max has made the huge jump to the 155-pound weight class, where his already serious power has only gotten better and more threatening.
When Max called out Charles and Charles reciprocated, I didn't want it. I didn't want him to fight Max Holloway. I didn't want it. I thought Michael Chandler 3 would have been a much better contest. I think Bobby Green would have been a great fight for Charles. I didn't want to fight Max Holloway. Max Holloway, it's not close on the feet. Out at range, it's not close. It's not. It's not. Max is on a different level. The speed, the combinations, the way he can mix up strikes to the head and to the body, the jump spinning back kicks. It is lighter man skill all the way. It is. I do not favor Charles Oliveira in the slightest when it comes to striking at range. And Max Holloway, ever since he's moved up to 155, he's better than he's ever been before. He's better than he's ever been before.
That upgraded power, that increased danger, has definitely created a new, even more lethal Max Holloway, a fighter who seems to be at his absolute best. Chael continues to emphasize just how dramatically Holloway's move to the 155-pound division has increased his already serious threat to everyone in the weight class. At 145, Max's power, while certainly real and effective, wasn't quite as noticeable, but now he's evolved into an even stronger, more dangerous challenge for any fighter, including someone like Islam Makhachev. Chael carefully explains how Holloway's sharp, precise counters, his perfect distance management that keeps opponents confused, and his constant non-stop pressure combined to make him an absolutely frightening matchup for anyone in the division. Now, don't misunderstand. Chael isn't saying Oliveira has no shot. He recognizes that Charles can definitely win this fight. He's got the skills. But here's the catch, the important detail. When Max Holloway gets into his full flow, when he's throwing those amazing combinations and constantly switching up his attacks with perfect timing, it becomes crystal clear to anyone watching. He's not just competing, he's performing on a completely different, almost superhuman level of excellence. For Chael, this obvious striking advantage from Max is exactly why the fight guarantees to be a high-pressure, edge-of-your-seat war, the type that keeps you glued to the screen from beginning to end.
Extremely well. His power has never been as significant down at 145. In fact, I would even go out on a limb and say that he is a much tougher fight for Ilia Topuria up at 55 than he was down at 145. I mean, you look at the amount of times that he landed on Ilia Topuria in that fight with distance management, with counters, and then you compare that to the amount of pop he has up at 155. It is terrifying, and I'm afraid. I'll admit it, I am. I'm scared. I'm scared. Listen, it's not to say that Charles doesn't have a chance. In fact, I think he can win. I know he can win. I know he can. But you just look at when Max Holloway had Dustin Poirier hurt up against the fence, and you just look at this sequence, man. He throws like 30 punches in 3 seconds. I don't even think I captured every single individual screenshot of punches, but look at how he's just mixing it up here. He's a different level on the feet. The speed, the combinations, he's a different level.
So after all this amazing breakdown, all these opinions from the experts, all the analysis of abilities and game plans, the big question stays, who do you think will come out on top in this absolutely incredible, potentially legendary battle? Are you fully backing Holloway, thinking his striking and pressure will be overwhelming? Or are you supporting Do Bronx Oliveira, betting on his famous ground game and submission skills? We definitely want to hear every hot take, every confident prediction, and every crazy theory you want to share. Make sure to leave your thoughts, your picks, and your explanations down below in the comments right now. Let everyone know where you stand. And listen, if you haven't already become part of our amazing community of fight lovers, do yourself a huge favor and hit that subscribe button for constant updates, expert breakdowns that you can't get anywhere else, and all the exclusive insider content leading up to what is definitely a truly unmissable essential fight. Don't get left behind in the discussion.